Prologue: The Spark of Arrogance. The galaxy was vast, ancient, and cruel. Empires rose and fell like waves on a dark ocean, their banners burning across the stars before fading into silence. Among these empires stood the Krava Dominion, proud and merciless, forged by war and sharpened through conquest. It was on a nameless station, orbiting a neutral world, that the spark was lit. An alien warrior, towering, armored in ceremonial plates of bone and steel, laughed as he humiliated a human envoy. But his cruelty did not stop there. At his side stood the envoy's companion, a quiet civilian aide, a friend who had followed him into the void not with weapons but with words. The warrior mocked that friend before the assembled delegations. He struck him, hurled him to the floor, and spat words meant to break not just the man, but the species he belonged to. The chamber roared with alien laughter. They mocked Earth as if it were a child playing soldier, a backwater world too naive to survive among predators. And in that moment, with one act of casual cruelty, the galaxy crossed a threshold it did not yet understand. The Feast of Arrogance. The Krava Dominion celebrated. Across their fleets, warriors sang of how easily humans bent beneath their hands. They recited the humiliation as though it were an epic victory, their arrogance echoing through the void. Their council declared humanity too weak, too sentimental, too bound by treaties and laws to ever respond. They believed Earth was bound by restraint. They laughed at the idea of vengeance. Broadcasts spread the mockery across systems. "The humans are pets," one Dominion admiral sneered. "They bark but never bite. Their so-called fleets are old bones held together by pride." The galaxy listened. Other empires nodded in agreement. Earth had been patient, polite, careful in diplomacy. The stars mistook patience for weakness. They mistook restraint for fear. And so arrogance became a feast, one the galaxy gorged itself upon. The silence before the storm. For weeks the galaxy waited for Earth's reply, but no reply came. No speeches, no threats, no declarations of war. Humanity said nothing. The silence unsettled some, but the Dominion called it proof of their triumph. They mocked again. They sent recordings of the warriors' laughter to human colonies. They painted banners of the insult on the hulls of their ships. But in the shadows of that silence, Earth moved. The shipyards of Luna worked without pause, their forges blazing day and night. Deep beneath Mars, black vaults opened, and weapons never meant to see light were armed. In the hidden arsenals of Titan, engines long sealed rumbled awake. The silence was not weakness. It was warning, a pause between inhale and exhale. The galaxy did not understand, not yet. The first shiver of dread. It began with whispers on the trade routes. Merchant convoys reported human fleets moving in strange formations. Massive dreadnoughts once thought ceremonial vanished from their docks. Patrols of black-hulled cruisers were sighted in the deep void. Alien admirals laughed again, dismissing it as posturing. A show of flags, they said, nothing more. Then came the broadcasts. Simple, cold messages transmitted in every major language of the galaxy. "You mocked one of ours, you struck one who called us friend. You laughed at his pain, you thought we would forget. We do not forget. We do not forgive, we answer." The silence broke. The mobilization of Earth. The skies over Earth turned black with warships. Fleets rose from every ocean, every continent, every orbital dock. Veterans recalled only one other time the world had united so absolutely, when humanity first reached the stars. But this was no exploration. This was wrath. Armadas named for storms, hurricane, cyclone, typhoon, rolled out of dockyards. Titans named for gods, Zeus, Odin, Vishnu stirred in their births. And above them all, the Erebus, humanity's most secret and terrible vessel, moved like a shadow given form. Comms across the galaxy grew heavy with warnings. Alien scouts who strayed too close were not destroyed. They were simply allowed to see. To see fleets blotting out suns, to see armies mustering like storms across barren worlds, to see humanity awake. For the first time, the galaxy shivered. The breaking of the Dominion. The Krava Dominion expected defiance. They expected scattered battles. They did not expect annihilation. The first strike came without warning. Entire Dominion fleets vanished in storms of white fire. Orbital bastions crumbled as kinetic strikes slammed down with the fury of mountains. Where the Dominion mocked, humanity answered, not with equal cruelty but with overwhelming force. Their fleets cut through space like blades through paper. Their soldiers landed like thunder, armored in suits that turned men into titans. Everywhere the Dominion turned, humanity was already there. Every trap failed. Every defense collapsed. The warrior who had mocked that human friend was dragged before his own people, bound in silence. Humanity did not need to gloat. Their answer was written in fire and ruin across the stars. The climax, when the galaxy broke. The war lasted only weeks. Not years, not centuries, but weeks. For the Dominion, it was not war, it was breaking. Worlds that had stood proud for millennia fell in hours. Space stations that once shone as symbols of dominance were reduced to drifting ash. And through it all, humanity advanced with cold precision. They did not rage. They did not revel. They simply moved forward, step by merciless step, until there was nowhere left to stand. The galaxy watched in horror. Broadcasts carried the images, fleets blotting out stars, dreadnoughts turning entire battle groups to dust in seconds, human soldiers marching through fire as though it were rain. One act of arrogance had lit a fire. Now the galaxy saw its blaze, and in its light the galaxy broke. Alliances shattered. Empires reconsidered. The myth of human weakness died forever. Resolution, whispers in the ash. When it was over, silence fell again. The Dominion was no more. Their banners burned, their fleets gone, their proud warriors broken. Humanity did not stay to rule their worlds. They left ruins behind, a reminder carved in silence. Across the galaxy, survivors whispered to each other. Not about the battle, not about the fleets, but about the lesson. Never provoke Earth again. It was whispered in marketplaces, in council chambers, in the shadows of surviving empires. Humanity's patience was vast, but their vengeance was infinite. The galaxy understood now. One insult, one cruelty, one mocking blow had broken an empire, and in its echo, the stars themselves trembled. Epilogue, the weight of vengeance. The galaxy moved on, but it never forgot. Every empire, every council, every admiral remembered the day the Krava Dominion mocked a human's friend and lost everything. Humanity returned to silence, their fleets withdrawn, their banners lowered. But the silence was different now. It was not the silence of restraint. It was the silence of a predator that had hunted once and could hunt again at will. And so the galaxy lived in dread, knowing the truth carved into its very stars. Earth does not strike first. Earth does not boast. But when Earth is forced to answer, the galaxy breaks.